Hey guys, so I am working on the back of day 14, so it's not gonna have a number, but it's definitely a photo that I've been wanting to use for a while. It's of my cute kitty here. She's in like a present cardboard like cat house thing. I saw Crystal in Indunate, I'm not sure I'm exactly saying that right, do a tag layout like this with pictures of her tree. I had considered using the same paper because it did look really good, but I want to save this to use somewhere else in the album to tie, you know, themes together throughout the album. So this is just going to be tags layered on top of this greenery paper, finally using it instead of the digital version. And I have this super awesome stamp set from Kelly Perky's Paper Person Shop this year called Happy Holidays. And what I'm gonna do is stamp, I've got the kitty wrapped in lights here, and I'm thinking I might even have her layered on top of a present because she's in a present. We'll see if I have room. I have to lay it out first. I don't want it to look too crowded. I'm gonna put the May Your Days Be Furry and Bright. I'm gonna white emboss that if I think I can get away with it. And then I'm gonna put the kitty with the reindeer antlers on this tag, and then I'm gonna actually cut this into a tag shape. It's like a die cut. So I thought that would be really cute. And then I'm gonna use this one as my die cut shape die thingy. So this is from the 2x3 tag set that came, I believe, with the transparency tags as well. There's a whole set of these. I haven't used any yet, but I have the Be Jolly one. This is cut from pattern paper from some Heidi Swap. I already used in the album on day 7, so that'll help tie that in. This is a die cut from this year's set. These two are tags from this year's set. This is from last year's set, and then this is from a brand new one from Allie that I don't know what year it's from. I got it as a mystery gift with one of the most recent sales. So I'm layering that in for some green. And I might actually put the Meowie Christmas on there too, double layered up. I don't think it'll fit perfectly. It'll run into the tree if I try to do white embossing. So I might do the Meowie and then Christmas. So just as an excuse to use them all. These are some other tag options that I considered. I really liked this round green one, but I didn't necessarily need the Comfort and Joy, and I didn't want her handwriting right next to her handwriting. So I cut that out in the greenery, but I was having trouble fitting the shape in. And I didn't need, so I ended up cutting this one instead. So I didn't really love that shape in that spot, because I also tried it in this sparkly paper that is from Michael's. It's like, it's almost like a fabric. So it's like felty, thin, felty, shiny glitter, but I thought that would be fun, but it's almost hard to look at. I even tried to fit it in this Black Stories one, but I didn't love it. And then I also had these from last year's set. I did consider putting this one in a few different places, or this one as well, but I ended up cutting it onto that pattern paper instead. And then there was like, you know, just some different shapes and sizes and patterns that I was trying out from my stash, but I'm really happy with what I have come up with. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim this one now. I will punch the hole later. So I'm gonna use a variety of ribbons and trims on these. And I am gonna turn, I'm still deciding if I wanna round my corners or not. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But I'm gonna turn this one into a sideways one because it doesn't have to go up. I was thinking that it would be nice if the ribbon came out. So I have three going in and all the rest go up. And I even considered having one face down, but I'm not gonna do that anymore. So at this point, also I did leave room for my holes here. So when I lined up my template, I made sure that this tag here, even though it's pushed over, would clear the holes. So it'll be close, but I'm gonna punch the holes probably before I put that down, just in case I don't clip it. But yeah, this will be pushed over far enough for hole clearance. And yeah, pretty much done with this. I just have to do all the stamping and deal with all the ribbon. So hopefully it won't take me too long, but I'm excited to see how it comes out. And I really love the way this tag setup looks. So we'll see what we end up with. Okay guys, so I'm getting ready to start on my first tag here. I'm doing the May Your Days Be Furry and Bright. Off camera I did use my embossing powder tool to put powder on the tag so that it doesn't stick. Right now I'm using Versamark embossing ink. I did 2 rounds of it, and then now I'm just grabbing some paper to put under my tag so that I can pour my embossing powder over it and shake it off, and then I have it folded so that it'll go into the seams, and then I can pour it more easily back into the little jar there. So I did, I believe, 2 Versamark stamps, and then I actually had to let the heat tool heat up for a little bit, but it's kind of magical when you can see it kind of go from powder to bright white like really quickly in an instant. I have found that when you can hold it in the air and go from the side, make sure you're constantly rotating, you'll get less warping that way. Or if you can't, you know, hold it in the air, make sure you flip it over and get a little bit on the back. Just be careful that your embossing powder isn't wet because it can stick or smear. So just a heads up on that. So I'm blocking off or masking this tag here because it says Maui Christmas, but it was all one word. I did not want to cut the stamp, so I just used a little piece of paper to mask off in different sections. I definitely stamped each one of these a couple times. The problem was, to fit the stamp and my magnet, I had to put it off center, and it slipped after the first one, so I had a really hard time lining it up to get a better stamped image, and I really needed to. The other thing too is silly me, I forgot to use the embossing powder tool, and it makes a huge difference. So for Christmas I didn't use it, but for Meowie I didn't, and it makes a difference. I highly recommend getting one. You can also use a dryer sheet. I've heard from people, but I've never done that. So anywho, I'm just getting this one finished up with the different various steps. And the other thing too, the quality of your embossing powder makes a really large difference. So just about finished up with this one here. And just adding a little bit more powder onto that one and using a little fine paintbrush to brush away the extra pieces. And I'll get that one heat set in just a moment. So now I'm moving on to the white background tags with the stamping. I had originally planned to maybe use some red embossing powder, but decided to instead stamp with green. So I'm using my Rustic Wilderness Distressed Oxide ink from Tim Holtz and stamping that at least 2 times, and then I'm going to go over it with clear embossing powder. One thing that I wish that I had done, however, was for this one in particular, instead of doing the stamped images and embossing separately, I wish I would have waited and done them all at the same time. The problem was is I couldn't stack everything together, and I was afraid of smearing, because I had to stamp the present with the green ink twice, wipe it off with a wet paper towel, and then stamp it with the embossing Versamark ink, and then put the clear embossing powder on it. It's a really cool look. It gives it really a really nice shiny edge, just really kicks it up a notch from just basic ink stamping. If you were to say use Copic markers or some other marker, it's great to do inside the lines of an embossed image because it really looks quite cool. I don't have any markers or anything, so I just let it be what it was. But really happy with how nice and crisp those came out. I did have a teeny bit of an issue with the foot and the present getting a teeny bit smeared, like it resists it somehow. So that's why I kind of wished I was able to do them all at the same time. But not a big deal. It's so minuscule you can barely tell. And I am going to hold this tag up so that you can see. I just wish that it showed a little bit more of the gloss for you to check out, and unfortunately it doesn't really, but it gives you a nice crisp clear image. So if you don't have a stamping platform, I highly recommend getting one for things like this where you need to stamp in the same position multiple times. So I didn't realize that this cut off, but I'm stamping the other kitten image, the one where it's wearing the little reindeer antlers, and I'm going to go through the same steps. So here I've jumped into all the various trims. I tried not to duplicate any. I'm pretty sure I have all unique trims for each tag. So the chevron looking ones in the top left and bottom right hand corners are from Amazon and May Arts. I have some velvet ribbons. I got a big multicolor pack from Amazon, and then I also have that Tim Holtz set of reds. So the green one in the bottom left is just an Amazon option that I will link for you. The one on the Be Jolly with the cat is a Martha Stewart trim. The two in the middle on the right hand side are just twines that I found, and then the top right is that Tim Holtz. So I pretty much either tied them around and pulled them through if they were twine, or I stapled them in place if they were the thicker ribbons. Some of the holes I did enforce with either my 1/4 inch power punch. I'll have that linked in all my Amazon tools. Or I also used my Crocodile as well, because sometimes it was a smaller tag and did not need as big of a hole reinforcement. But a bigger hole obviously just makes it easier to pull everything through. And then the last steps were to get everything adhered down. So several of them got mounted with either foam squares from Gina K or foam tape. I have those linked for you. And I used score tape for the rest, since this is all outside the page protector. And at some point off camera, I did also punch the holes on the right hand side so that I could make sure that nothing was interfering with the holes. So now that everything's done, I'm getting that photo mounted into place. And I really love how this came out. It's a little bit busy, but there's still a lot of focus on my kitty, my poor kitty. She hurt her paw sometime yesterday, so I'm not sure what she did, but she's my little crafting buddy if any of you have been around for a while, so hopefully she heals up quickly. And I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you soon for day 15. This is just kind of like a bonus video, but I thought it'd be fun to show how it came together. So thank you so much for watching, and just a reminder, if you're not already subscribed, please do so, and you'll be notified when I post new content. Thanks so much.